At LHTC Broadband, we're proud to provide the communication services you need to get the most from today's technology. We're your local choice for TV, phone, and internet. We offer high-quality cable TV service with HD, multi-room DVR, on-demand, and watch TV everywhere. Plus unlimited calling. And our internet is faster than ever with speeds up to 1 gigabyte. With no contracts and local customer service, switching has never been easier. Call today, 724-593-2411, or visit lhtcbroadband.com.
Good morning. You're listening to Laurel Highlands Happenings on 97.3 Light FM and 1480 WCNS, sponsored by Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine at Seton Hill and Planet Earth Greenhouse, who invites you to Customer Appreciation Day on May the 11th from 12 to 5. Good morning. I'm Louise, and I'm your host of Laurel Highlands Happenings. I'm here the first Saturday of every month to share with you all the latest happenings in the Laurel Highlands. With spring and fall throttle, it's time for us to dust off the bikes, dig out our hiking boots and trail maps, and go forth, seeking adventure on one of many Laurel Highlands trails. May is the month of reawakening for many historic sites, who will be opening their doors to welcome new and returning visitors to soak up the atmosphere of times past for a brand new season. Wineries will soon be opening. They're opening now, and they'll be offering live music again on their patios. It'll be so nice to enjoy. And there's many other family fun attractions, which once again will be welcoming visitors to enjoy their unique experiences right through to fall. And to give you some inspiration, we have a transportation theme this month. Our guests include Bradley Smith of Confluence Cyclery, Jennerstown Speedway Complex, and Ligonier Valley Railroad Museum. So hop on and let's check in with Brad of Confluence Cyclery. Good morning, Brad. Thanks for coming on the show. It's good to have you. So, Brad, tell us a little bit about your shop down in Confluence. A quick overview. Tell the listeners where you're located and how you got started, that kind of thing.
Confluence Cyclery it's a full-service bike shop. We are located right on the square in downtown Confluence. We're about 6 blocks from the Great Allegheny Passage, and we do everything. We sell bikes, we repair bikes, we rent bikes, and we sell accessories. So we're a full-service bike shop. We work on most everything. And we've been here since the fall of 2012 when we built the shop and opened it. My wife and I came here from the Washington, D.C. area. This is our retirement job. It's a very different and very welcome change from the Washington, D.C. area.
I would say. I was in D.C. a few weeks ago. It's very different. But, yeah, go on. Tell us a bit more.
Okay, so our customer base here is pretty broad. Mostly we service people who are riding the Great Allegheny Passage, which is the bike trail which runs from Pittsburgh to Cumberland, Maryland. And then in Cumberland, it connects with the C&O Canal Towpath, which goes from there to Washington, D.C. So you can actually ride all the way from Pittsburgh, downtown Pittsburgh at Point State Park, all the way to Washington, D.C. without ever having to go on a road at all. So that's mostly where our people come from. And our demographics tend to be people a little bit on the older side because touring cyclists tend to be a little bit older, but we do service all ages. Cycling is an amazing sport. I tell people it's something that you can do all your life. I actually have customers who are still cycling on tricycles, even though they can't hardly walk anymore. They're still cycling. My oldest customer is 92 years old, and he rides every day. And I think the youngest customers we've had in here have been about 3 months old, and we put them in little trailers behind. So it's something that you can do basically from the time you're born until the time you die. It's a very broad sport. It ranges everything from the racers that you see in the Olympics to the downhill people that scream downhill on mountain bikes, to people who ride all the way across the country or around the world on touring bikes, to just the average kid who's riding his bike around town.
That is so very true. So very true. I mean, you never forget when you take off those training wheels off your bike and suddenly you're just 2 wheels. I mean, it's very exciting, and I myself love I love cycling. I wish I could get out more on the trails. That's something I plan to do this year. But I certainly do. It's a wonderful sport. It truly is. So have you always been involved in it? Is that why you started your shop?
I've been a cyclist all my life. I mean, when I was a kid, owning a bicycle was freedom, and we rode our bikes everywhere. We rode our bikes to school, and I grew up in suburban Philadelphia. But even so, we just rode everywhere, and for us it was freedom. So I have again been a cyclist all my life. I've cycled through portions of Europe, and I've never been a racer. I'm more of a pleasure biker, touring cyclist. Did a little bit of mountain biking in my younger days. Got that out of my blood. But and again, you can experience cycling in many different ways. So.
Right.
When it came time to retire, I needed something to do to keep myself active, because I've found from seeing my contemporaries, if you retire from work and go home and sit down in a chair, you die.
Right. No,
so
I
need to stay active, and cycling has been, and my wife cycles too.
Right.
And it's been wonderful for us.
I absolutely agree. You've got to have a passion. You've got to keep going, and good for you. So have you? I'm assuming you have ridden the Gap Trail. Have you done it the full length from DC all the way through to Pittsburgh, the Cumberland CNO through to the Gap, or have you just done parts of it?
Yes, I have.
You have? More than once?
Yep. I've done segments of it more than once. I've only done it end to end once.
Okay.
And largely because I spend my time in here. And actually, I did most of that before I owned the shop. And living in D.C., we used to ride the C&O canal portion of it quite frequently.
Right, I'd imagine so, yeah.
Right.
But now, I mean, do you get the opportunity to go out on the trails, or do you find you're in the shop doing repairs and selling bikes?
My riding time is generally between 6 and 8 in the morning.
Okay.
Because when we get into the full season, we're here 7 days a week, and I just don't get any time to do any extensive riding at all. But we're very fortunate here in the Laurel Highlands. We have a wide variety of bike trails of various different lengths. Of course, the most well-known is the Great Allegheny Passage, but we also have the Indian Creek Valley Trail, which is near Jones Mills. It's about 8 miles long. A very historic trail, the Coal and Coke Trail, about 6 miles outside of Mount Pleasant. And then there's the Sheepskin Trail, which connects to the Gap in Connellsville. And then up near Indiana, there's 3 trails that you can pretty much do in a couple days. It's the Hoodlebug, the West Penn, and the Ghost Town. Those are all very, very interesting trails. So we're very blessed. Not a lot of places in the U.S. have as many options for riding. Now, most of these trails that I mentioned, if not all of them, are converted railroad beds. They're rail trails. We also have a number of mountain biking opportunities. There's, of course, mountain biking trails in Ohio State Park and in Forbes State Forest, as well as the forest roads in the forest and through the state, and the roads to the state game lands. But there's also downhill riding during the summertime at Seven Springs. You can put your bike on the ski lift, take you to the top, and ride down. So
wow. That's fun.
There's a wide variety of ways you can experience cycling in Ohio.
And
fortunate.
And for those that are listening and thinking, we need to get out, you offer rentals, correct? So they don't have bikes, but they want to have a go, and they're down in Confluence area. They could swing by and rent a bike from you?
Yes, we do rent bikes, and we can fit everything from a kid who's about 6 years old up to somebody who's about 6'7" tall. So we have a wide range of sizes. The bulk of our bikes are bikes that are suitable for riding on the rail trails. We don't rent downhill bikes and serious mountain bikes, because we just don't have that much call for it right where we are. Right.
Wow. So that's pretty cool. What is the rental hire? What's the cost of it for? Like, do you do it by the hour, by the day, half a day? How does it work?
We do it by the hour, the half day, and the day. By the hour, it's $5 an hour. A half day, which is 5 hours, is $20, and all day is $25.
That's not bad, is it? Wow.
Yeah.
That is very cool.
Right, and for people who want to, ride multiple days on the Gap, Great Allegheny Passage, we do overnight rentals also.
Oh, nice. Well, we are running out of time. So before we say goodbye to you, for the listeners who are thinking, we need to get out and do this, what is your best way to contact you? What's your website? Are you on Facebook?
Yeah, well, the website is just www.confluencecyclery.com. And if you go to Facebook and look up Confluence Cyclery, we have a Facebook page. Or the phone number here is 814-395-9380. And in May, we're open every day but Thursdays, and starting from Memorial Day to Labor Day, we're open every day of the week.
Brilliant. I wish you a great season. Let's hope for less rain this summer. And,
yes.
and I hope you get the opportunity to get out and enjoy the trails. Thank you so much for chatting to us, Brad.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity.
If you've just joined us, you're listening to Laurel Highlands Happenings. We thank our sponsors, Lake Erie College Osteopathic Medicine at Seton Hill and Planet Earth Greenhouse, who invites you to their Customer Appreciation Day on May the 11th from 12 to 5. Today, we have a transportation theme, and we're hopping off our bikes now and swapping them for 4 wheels and a race car. Our next guest is Mike Liskowski. Is that right, Mike? That's good enough. Of Jennerstown Speedway Complex. Good morning, Mike. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come and chat to us.
Well, good morning to all the listeners. It's a great pleasure to be here as racing season is just around the corner. We have a practice session for the race teams going on today. That'll get started at about 12 noon, and everybody can come out and watch for free. The grandstand gates will be open. You can see the brand new equipment getting tested for the first time, and that's all in preparation for our opening night, May 11th, Saturday at 6 p.m. So it's the perfect time.
Wow. So tell us about the opening night. What happened? What time does it start? And what occurs?
That's a great question. For all of our Saturday night races, beginning on May 11th and then each Saturday through mid-September, the gates open at 4 p.m. and the races begin at 6 p.m. So our opening ceremonies are about 5:50, national anthem and some special little things each week. But the cars are actually getting the green flag to race at 6 p.m. each Saturday night.
Okay.
And each of those Saturdays, we have 5 different types of cars that compete. So as opposed to, you can turn on TV any Sunday afternoon and see those NASCAR cars going 500 laps around the track for hours and hours.
Yeah.
What we offer at Jennerstown Speedway, although we're a paved oval just like any other NASCAR track, you get to see 5 different types of racing each night. There are 5 totally different looking types of cars that each come out and do brief races. So they will all do heat races, as we call them, at 6 p.m. And then we take a little intermission, give you a chance to go and get a snack and use the restroom. And then for the feature events, as we call them, where the drivers will get paid for their finishes, we have a 35-lap race, a 25-lap race, a 20-lap, and a 15-lap race. So I think it suits the American attention span, so to speak, much better than making you watch hundreds and hundreds of laps of the same cars and drivers. We break it up into 5 different types of cars. It's almost like watching a baseball game where you get to see the AA team play a couple innings, the AAA team play a couple innings, and then the major league. So our top level cars, which are called the late models, they will race in a 35-lap event every Saturday night, and that will be the feature event, so to speak. So you get to see 5 different types, and the fans really appreciate that.
So when you say 5 different types, can you expand on that? Because I'm like, is it different size engines, performance?
That is a part of it, actually.
Right.
So our top level cars, called the late models, they are all in the form of what we call a stock car. Meaning on Memorial Day, you see the Indy 500 with those cars that look like little go-karts with no fenders. That's called open wheel racing for your Indy cars. Formula One would be the top levels of those. In stock car racing, that term comes from the idea that the cars mostly have to resemble a stock automobile from the street. So they all have fenders, they all have roofs, doors. Of course, the drivers have to crawl in. The doors don't open. So if you remember the old Dukes of Hazzard TV series, you have to crawl in the window so that the doors don't come open during competition. But those late model cars are the more experienced drivers typically, and certainly far more expensive equipment that is very, very high performance. Many horsepower under the hood, but the experience comes into play because there are so many adjustable components of how those wheels touch the ground. There's so much geometry and physics that the more experienced crews know how to make those cars go quick through the turns, and that's the key to it. Anybody can go fast on a straightaway. You push the pedal all the way to the floor and the car goes straight. All of the competitive advantage comes from hitting the brakes at a specific point and slowing down to safely make that turn to begin the next straightaway. So it's not just the experience of getting the car to distribute the weight for the best possible turning speeds, but it's also the driver's mentality, because at the end of that straightaway, every lap, those drivers need to make the decision, should I wait an extra millisecond to hit the brakes, knowing that it might take me too far past my zone of control in that turn and maybe get me spinning the car or hitting the outside wall, or make that decision on the final lap. I want the winner's paycheck and I'm in second right now. Do I bump that guy in front of me out of the way to get that big paycheck? That's rude, but they're going to have to race with that same guy another 17 or 18 times during the year. So it's kind of that question of how badly do you want it? The mental aspect of the oval track racing as compared to like a drag race where the cars go perfectly straight for a quarter mile. Those decisions in the turns are the things that have had me interested as a race fan since I was a little kid, in knowing the personalities and how each driver, maybe an aggressive type driver or a more conservative type driver, is fascinating.
That is very interesting indeed. So tell me a little bit about the actual racetrack, you know, the Speedway. Do you, I mean, how many people can come sit in the stadium, for instance? What's the attendance?
We can get about 10,000 people in.
Okay.
The entire main grandstand area is a non-smoking, and we just a couple of years ago added a tiny little section of a smoking area for the folks that need to maybe leave that area. But we have our vendor midway, which is located under the grandstand. So each Saturday when the gates open at 4 p.m., we have some form of entertainment, a DJ, a live band.
Oh, nice.
And so for the 2 hours leading up to the race, anybody that wants to come early and get a really great parking spot, we have vendors, we have clowns and face painting for the kids, live music.
Brilliant.
The bar is open, the concessions are open. So there's a vendor's midway that will keep you out of the sun or maybe out of the drizzle of rain if that's going on at 4 p.m. So most people tend to congregate near the live entertainment for that 4 to 6 period when we first open the gates. Then we do our opening ceremonies about 5 till, and then at 6 p.m. is when that racing begins on our half-mile paved oval. The banking is about 12 degrees, meaning that the track tips inward to help the cars, with the forces that go around the turns. That banking actually helps them. The track has been paved only since 1987.
Wow.
I know that sounds like a long time, but I actually remember being at the track when I was very, very young, when it was a dirt surface. The track began as a fairgrounds in 1936, and they would race both horses and, at that time, open-wheel midget cars, as they were called, which traveled the country with daredevil drivers and no roll cages for safety, no fenders on the cars. Through the 1930s, it was the fairgrounds, and when the fair board decided that the fair was no longer profitable as a week-long county fair, then it just hosted weekly auto racing. And so 1987 is when the track was paved. A long relationship with NASCAR was in place there throughout the 1990s as well. The current management, we're very, very proud of what's happened recently, because the track was actually closed from 2008 through 2014. So with that long of a closure, many of the race teams disbanded and sold their equipment. So the first couple of years reopened. You look at 2015, 16, it was, we had to shout from the mountaintops, hey, you can come and see racing again. Bring the family out. And since that time, it has evolved to the point where we had a practice session last week, for example. 28 race teams came out just to practice.
28?
28 teams were there with no paychecks, just, shake down the equipment like what's going to happen this afternoon. And so, once the big paychecks are on the line, we can have well over 130, 140 race teams in the pit area to entertain the fans. And again, with that closing of the Speedway where we shut down for 8-9 years, over 100,000 people came through our gates during the racing season last year. And not only is that great growth, and not only is it great to see families enjoying that sort of outdoor entertainment in the Laurel Highlands, but we lost 5 events to rain. So, if Mother Nature cooperates this year with our full 21 event schedule, we could have 150 to 200,000 people coming to this area as tourists every Saturday night to see the action at Jennerstown Speedway.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Let's hope the rain does hold off this year. We are out of time, so very quickly tell the listeners, because I'm sure they're very excited hearing all this, and they got to come out and enjoy the Speedway. So tell them how they can find out more information.
Our website is jennerstown.org, and the best part is $10 admission for adults.
Right.
Children age 12 and under are free. That's for, I think, 18 of our 21 races. There's a couple of nights you'll see on the website with an increased admission for special events, but essentially it's a $10 ticket. It's $5 to park.
Right.
And when you pay to park, you get 2 free tickets for another visit. So you get $20 worth of admission tickets when you pay your $5 to park. So we're very proud of the family affordability to bring everybody outdoors for entertainment on a Saturday night.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for coming on the show, and have a great season.
Thank you very much.
Just tuned in, you are listening to Laurel Highlands Happenings, brought to you this month by Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine at Seton Hill and Planet Earth Greenhouse, who invites you to their Customer Appreciation Day on May the 11th from 12 to 5. We continue our transportation theme with Ligonier Valley Railroad Museum. We have Dick Sheets and Bill McCulloch in the studio to share with us the latest news from the Railroad Museum. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Louise.
Thank you for coming on into the studio. So I understand you have a couple of events coming up for the Railroad Museum. The first one being tomorrow, and that is Free Museum Day in Ligonier Valley. So you're one of 6 museums that are going to be open free for the public to come in and enjoy and visit. Bill, can you just share just a little bit about what actually happens at the Railroad Museum on Free Museum Day?
Free Museum Day at the Railroad Museum. We try to cater to kids. We have our trackless train, which every year they enjoy. They drag their parents to come to the museum.
Right.
We do have a bobber caboose that everybody enjoys going through and explaining what it was like to be an employee on the railroad back in 1905 and those years. And in the museum itself, we do have a lot of artifacts from the Ligonier Valley Railroad that ran until 1952. So we have things for kids and for adults.
Okay, so it's a nice fun thing. So if you're doing all the 6 museums, swing by the Railroad Museum. The kids can enjoy climbing into the caboose,
yes,
and also that nice little train. It's all free.
They can ride the little train.
Yeah.
Yes, they can ride around in circles.
Brilliant. So what is the opening times for the museum on Free Museum Day?
Free Museum Day is from 10 to 4.
Okay.
And if you come down Idlewild Hill Road, which is right next to Idlewild, okay, you will see our museum on the left, and there's parking on the right, and we'll have people there to explain to you what to go and where to go, what to see, and that type of stuff. So we look forward to seeing you.
Do you have any other activities, anything else for kids' activities, or is it just, the riding the train?
It's just basically riding the train and the caboose, and so
okay,
that's basically what we have.
Oh, very cool. And actually, the museum, just generally, is open just on Saturdays currently at the moment.
Saturdays from 11 to 3.
Okay, and what is the current admission for that? Is it about?
It's $5.
$5.
Yes, $5.
So it's $5 for adults.
Yeah, seniors we give them a little bit of a discount.
Okay.
And kids from 5 years up to adults, are only $3. So.
Okay. So the other big event you have, which you do every year, and this is your 10th anniversary for this event, is the Model Railroad Tour that you do in Westmoreland County, and you go to several different homes. Is that correct, Dick?
Yes, that is. We have 7 stops this year. 7? Yes.
Okay.
One is Huber Hall here in Latrobe, and another 5 of them are all within about a mile and a half of downtown Latrobe.
Oh,
so
that's
the majority of it will be around Latrobe, and the 7th one is in Ligonier.
Oh.
This year we have several repeats, but 3 are totally brand new, never been seen before. And one is unique in that the owner has a UFO scene. The UFO is abducting cows from his farm. And
Really?
It's animated. It's quite clever.
That sounds really cool.
The tour this year is May 18th, Saturday, May 18th from 9 to 4 p.m.
Okay.
It's $20 for adults, $5 for under 16, in other words, 15 and younger, or $5. You will be given tickets, or besides your tickets, you will get a driving map to all the locations, and of course, admission tickets. And Huber Hall is the fire hall here in Latrobe. The firemen will be serving food, and there's restrooms, so it's a good place to come. It was like a hub, as a rest stop. And there will be, 3-4 different model railroad groups there setting up their portable displays. We have the Pittsburgh High Railers, which have a huge modular O-scale display. We have Esther's Hobby Shop from, I believe they're Millvale, which has N-scale. We have a group called T-Track that come from Ambridge, which brings a N-scale supply. We have a local gentleman that has a circus train display. And we have, coming from Pittsburgh, is the Adult Lego Users Group. They set up a big village out of Lego blocks and trains. They have Lego trains that run around the village. And every year they have it differently.
Okay.
So it's a fun day, and rain or shine, of course.
Okay.
And, so you can go to our webpage at lvrra.org and follow the links there, and you can print out an order form.
So basically, folks have to, if their listeners are thinking it sounds fun, would love to take grandkids on this tour, to find out further information, they click on the website and then follow the links. You have to print out like a form, and then you sort of mail that in, and then they get tickets, and they get the map, so they can find all these different locations. So so that sounds pretty cool. And there's information on your Facebook page as well, right?
Yes.
Yes.
There is. Yes, there is.
So so if anyone's listening, they can find out information on your website and also on your Facebook page. Is there any order to the driving to these? Can they do it any way they want, or have they got to stick to a particular order or do you recommend any order?
No, they could go any way they want.
Okay. So
if they're coming from the east, they might want to stop in Ligonier
first, and then
come on into Latrobe.
Okay. Well, it's quite nice that they're all close together.
Yes.
It's not like you're doing Latrobe and then shooting up to like Vandergrift, or
No.
You're not all over the place. It's quite close. So I love model railroad displays. I always get a kick out of them. So there's several new ones this year, which would be very nice as well. Do you get a lot of repeat people coming every year?
Yes, we do.
Quite a few.
Okay. But you'd love some new folks, right?
Yes.
Yes.
we
So
would.
anyone's listening, who loves model railroads, and who doesn't love a model railroad, to actually, come and do this. And it's Saturday, May the 18th. Starts at 9 a.m. and runs right through to 4 p.m.
Yes.
So and it's what, $10?
20.
20 bucks, sorry. 20 bucks
for
each.
adults, yeah.
That sounds like a great day out, just to drive around looking up model railroads. Sounds perfect to me.
And we do send the stuff out ahead of time. Okay. Whenever you send your application in, we send you the maps, we send you the tickets, so that you can look at all that stuff ahead of time and plan out your day.
Oh, that's perfect. Keys in the preparation, right?
And if we get your application a little bit late, we will hold them at Huber Hall in downtown Latrobe.
Okay.
They could be picked up there.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on the show. We are out of time. Folks can find you on Facebook, and your website is lvrra.org.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Hey.
All events and businesses mentioned today can be found at laurelhighlands.org. And if you're active on social media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, cheerio.
At LHTC Broadband, we're proud to provide the communication services you need to get the most from today's technology. We're your local choice for TV, phone, and internet. We offer high-quality cable TV service with HD, multi-room DVR, on-demand, and watch TV everywhere. Plus, plus unlimited calling. And our internet is faster than ever with speeds up to 1 gigabyte. With no contracts and local customer service, switching has never been easier. Call today, 724-593-2411, or visit lhtcbroadband.com.